Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to study the next chapter, The Happy Prince, page number 28 in the Moments book. So, previous chapter we have studied, and this is another chapter in the same book, Moments. The Happy Prince was a beautiful statue. He was covered with gold. He had a sapphires for eyes and a ruby in his sword. Why did he want to part with all the gold that he had and his precious stones? So this happy prince is not a real person, but it was a statue. Actually, this person, there was a happy prince many years before, but when he died, since he was very much famous for his happiness, so they made a very attractive statue, and the statue was fully covered with gold, small pieces of gold, and in his eyes, the eyes were made up of sapphire, one of the very famous precious stones are there, and there was a ruby in his sword. So there was a sword, and on that there was a ruby. So these all these precious things were there on this statue of this happy prince. So and in the chapter we can see that he is going to distribute these type of things, the gold as well as the precious stones. He distributed with the other people. So what made him to do so, and what may be the reason, and is the happy prince really happy? All these things we are going to discuss in this chapter. So now let us begin with the chapter. High above the city, on a tall column, stood the statue of the happy prince. He was gilded all over with the thin leaves of fine gold. For eyes, he had two bright sapphires, and a large red ruby glowed on his sword hilt. So this was about the statue. The statue was there in high above the city. It is like mostly when the statues and all are made, it is made in a high place so that it will be visible to everyone, most of the people. So it was a high place, and in the city, and a tall column, a pillar like thing was made, and on the top of that, this statue was attached, and the statue of the happy prince. He was gilded all over with the leaves of fine gold. So all over his body was attached, means decorated with the fine leaves of gold. So golden pieces were there, and it was pasted. Means that statue is made of cement or something like that. And outer cover, outside that, it was fully covered with the small pieces of gold. So it means from a person who is looking from outside may feel that it is made of gold. So such a way it has been decorated, and it was very attractive, very fine and attractive gold statue it was. And not only that, in order to increase the value of that, there was a sapphire on his eyes. The eyes was made of sapphires. Both the eyes were made up of sapphire, and his sword, there was a large red ruby was there on his sword. The sword that he was holding, and you know that sword, there will be just like on the handle, just one place is there. So there, in this picture you can see there is a round shape is given there. So that is the place of the ruby which was placed there. So it was means fully very attractive statue, and very precious one, very costly one. Okay. One night there flew over the city a little swallow. His friends had gone away to Egypt 6 weeks before, but he had stayed behind. Then he decided to go to Egypt too. So there was a swallow. Swallow is a small bird, and these birds are there. So they are in their country. So the birds of it is kind of a migratory birds. You might have studied about the migratory birds. So the migratory birds are there. They are moving from one place to another according to the different climates. So if they are staying in one place, and if the temperature is becoming very much cold, then they go to another place, because in that much very cold climate is there. At that time they are unable to survive there. So when they are very much cold climate is there, so they will go to a place where there is not that much cold is not there. And when it becomes hot, then they come back to the place, because they cannot survive in the very cold season as well as very hot season. So they will be moving from one place to another. They are called as the migratory birds. So here they were also, these birds also were some of these kinds. And this bird was there. This bird was alone. Other birds of his own friends were there. They had already gone to Egypt almost 6 weeks before, and the climate was getting more severe cold, so he had to go. So he was also on the way to Egypt. So he was moving to Egypt. They will have good climate. So the place where they are there, in that place there is no much. It is becoming very cold, so they have to go to Egypt for surviving. And when the winter is over, then they come back. So such a way the things are there. So he was on the way to Egypt. All day long he flew, and at night time he arrived at the city. So then he was flying all throughout the day. So the birds are there. These migratory birds will be flying all throughout the day, and they may take rest in a place wherever they find. So they come to the city, and he was in that city. So the bird was in the city, and it wanted to have a place for rest. Where shall I put up? He said. I hope the town has made preparations. Then he saw the statue on the tall column. I will put up there. So then he is thinking in his mind that where should I take rest? Where shall I put up? Where should I take a rest? So where can I stay? So which place will be more suitable? And he says that this town is very much decorated, all the preparations. So in this town you will be able to find a place for rest. So that may be better. And he saw, when he was searching for a place like that, he saw the statue of this happy prince, and he saw that, and he found that this will be a suitable place for him. It is in a tall place. People are not going to disturb him, and under this statue there will be some place where if there is a snowfall or a rain or anything like that, then also they will be able to survive. So that place will be more suitable. So he decided to stay there. It is a fine position with plenty of fresh air. So he alighted just between the feet of the happy prince. So he went and stood at the place between the legs of the both. Means that the statue is there, very big statue, and between the legs there is a little bit space, and there it is very suitable place for him to stay. So it will not be, the climatic problems will not be there, and there's a lot amount of fresh air is there, and as well as the people are not going to disturb him because it is on a very high place. So he found that this is a suitable place for him. I have a golden bedroom, he said softly to himself as he looked round, and he prepared to go to sleep. But just as he was putting his head under his wings, a large drop of water fell on him. So when he was in his mind he was telling to himself that I have a very big and golden bedroom is there, nice bedroom, and today I got a very nice bedroom with full of golden this one, and he is very much happy, and he was about to sleep. So when he was about to sleep, a big drop of water had fallen on him, and what a curious thing, he cried. There is not a single cloud in the sky. The stars are quite clear and bright, and yet it is raining. So there was a big drop of water had fallen down, and the bird was surprised from where it is coming, because the clouds there are no clouds there, and the stars are shining. There are no any symptom of rain is not there, but from where it is raining. So where this water comes. So he was asking about that. Then another drop fell. So he was thinking about the first drop. Then he found that another drop also had fallen down. What is the use of a statue if it cannot keep the rain off? He said. I must look for a good chimney pot, and he determined to fly away. So he thought that if this much big statue is there, so much costly gold and all everything is there, but if it is unable to prevent a small bird from rain, then what benefit is there? What is the benefit of this one? So that is like that he was telling, and he was find that some chimney place and all, chimney pot may be there. So there he will go and stay there, so that he will be able to be there without affected by the rain. So he was about to go from there. But before he had opened his wings, a third drop fell, and he looked up and saw, what did he see? So when he looked, he was about to go from there, and suddenly he wanted to go from that place to another place. But when he was about to go, then another drop of water had fallen, and he looked up and he saw that something strange is there. The eyes of the happy prince were filled with tears, and tears were running down his golden cheeks. His face was so beautiful in the moonlight that the little swallow was filled with pity. So then he saw that the face of the eyes of the happy prince was filled up with the tears, and these tears were rolling down from his golden cheeks, and the water, drops were falling down from there. Tears were falling. Actually, it was not a rain, it was the tears of the happy prince. So he was feeling very much confusion about this one, how he is known as the happy prince and why he will be crying. So he felt pity on that bird and asked, "Who are you?" He said, "I am the happy prince." Asked him that, "Who are you?" Then the statue replied that, "I am the happy prince." "Why are you weeping then?" asked the swallow. "You have quite drenched me." "And why are you crying then? If you are happy prince, what is you need of crying?" So and you made me almost drenched, fully wet in water. When I was alive. Okay, so that is enough for today. The remaining portion we study in the next class. Okay, thank you so much.